When I was little, I used to dream a lot. I really wanted to travel the world. I manifested everything in my life.
What does manifesting mean?
The creation of your own reality, so it's basically making your dreams come true. Manifesting is also about happiness and also about having fun. I ended up winning 5 international scholarships.
I had quite a difficult time growing up. How do you be grateful?
You have to become the best version of yourself. First step, identify what you really want with your heart. Believe that you can achieve it. Let the other people reject your dream as many times as they want to, but never be the one who rejects your dream.
Okay, so we're on the podcast with Violetta. Such an interesting story. You went to the same college as me, Wolfson College.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit about how you ended up there.
How I ended up in Cambridge.
In Cambridge.
At Wolfson.
At Wolfson, yeah.
How far do I need to go with that?
As far as you want, as far as you want. I think you have a very interesting story.
So when I was little, I used to dream a lot. But as a true manifestor, I think I was exposed to lots of different hard situations in my life. So I was born and raised in Russia, and I lost my relatives at a very young age. So I lost my mother, my father, my brother, my grandparents as well, and I ended up living with only grandmother. And I really wanted to travel the world and to see the beauty of it. So after it, I ended up winning 5 international scholarships, which actually funded all stages of my education. So the first one was at the age of 15. I really wanted to go to Italy to visit Venice, and it happened. I manifested it. After it, I went to study in the US, also for free because of the scholarship during my undergrad. And I did my first master's in Russia, but the program was a joint program with the University of Bologna in Italy, the oldest university in the world, even older than Oxford and Cambridge. But then after it, I thought I need the second master here at Cambridge, and here I am.
What are all these masters? What did you end up studying?
So I always did languages and acting. So it was languages
versus
movie. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So when I was in the US, I acted on stage, and it was mostly about theater. However, when I was in Italy, it was mostly about movies and movies production.
Aha, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was.
So you're like an actor?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so I didn't know that. Wow. Well, what kind of like movies were you in?
It was mostly on stage when I was in the US.
Yeah.
And I was not in big movies. I actually was shot in a movie here at Cambridge. And actually, as I told, I manifested everything in my life. This is a really weird story. So when I was here at Cambridge during summertime, I was working on my YouTube because now I'm dedicating a lot of time for my social media. YouTube and it.
You're doing the 31 colleges tour.
Yes.
Yeah,
so I
check
thought,
that out.
Yes, please, because I thought that when people apply for Cambridge, they don't know what colleges are. So these are like castles where students live but don't study. So I thought, actually, if I take this, I'm really well connected in Cambridge. I know lots of people in different colleges. So I thought, if I take just one person from each college and they will show us around.
Such a great idea.
This will actually show other students what they can expect from the college.
Really quickly, if you like Violetta, if you love Violetta, and I know you do, check out her channel in the description below. She's taught over 30 colleges, which is insane. I don't know how you do that. I think we're going to do like a documentary together as well. I think that'd be pretty cool. And while you're down there, if you want, you don't have to, but if you want, subscribe and like to that channel. We just started out. We have no idea what we're doing. And, like Tesco, bro, every little helps. So thank you for that. I appreciate you. Enjoy the podcast. Cheers.
And when I was doing this, I was also doing some internships and programs, like working. So I thought, I don't have time for movies right now during summer. However, if the opportunity comes, if they actually just come to my door and tell me, okay, let's make a movie, of course I will agree. And I thought, that's not gonna happen, of course, this is the UK. And you know what? When I was doing the internship at Jesus College, Cambridge, they actually sent the email saying, we're shooting a movie. We need some people in the movie. And the weirdest thing is that we were shooting close to the door of the office where I went every day. So I specifically manifested what I wanted.
What does manifesting mean? Because I hear you said manifesting quite a few times, but I'm sure you work quite hard for these things as well.
I think you have to be prepared for this. So I believe the whole concept of manifestation, which I'll explain what it specifically is about when you want something, this is your point B and you're in point A. So in order to meet your point B, you have to become your point B. So for example, to get to Cambridge, you cannot just dream about it and once it happens, you have to become the best version of yourself, which no matter what ends up in Cambridge, because you're already ready for this. So manifestation is actually a tricky word because this year, Cambridge University, Cambridge Dictionary, I believe, has titled it at the Word of the Year.
Manifestation?
So, yes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, okay. Word of the year.
I remember I told my friends, I don't have anything to do with it. But I would say in simple terms, manifestation is the creation of your own reality. So it's basically making your dreams come true in the best possible way for you. It's kind of like attracting miracles to your life.
Do you have a process for that, like a steps that you take? Because you go from A to B, but
yes,
how do you actually do that?
I would say that everyone does it differently. And I had started doing this without even knowing that this was manifestation. So basically, when I was in Kazan, Kazan is my native city in Russia. And I was living in the horrible conditions. You know, our flat was, oh my gosh, we had a hole in the floor. And I did not like the wallpapers because they were so horrible, like, you know, the USSR style. And I thought, okay, I really want to go to Venice. So I started to paint my dreams and I just put those in the wall. And now people call it like the dreams board. Later on, I also printed some things and that I like places that I wanted to visit or things that I wanted to do. And all of these things happened to me, which is so weird. So I think that the first step is actually identifying what you want. But the key thing here in manifestation is that you cannot manifest something that is not true to your heart. So, you know, actually, it's really connected. Well, it's not connected, but Wolfson College's motto is ring true. So I really like the motto because it's kind of stay true to yourself and then just be yourself, and then you will attract everything that aligns with your values in life. So I would say number one thing is to understand, which is actually very difficult because, you know, now we are exposed to so many false wishes that the society
that other people give us.
Yes. And maybe we think, oh, maybe I need to get a stable job, maybe I need to do X, Y, and Z, go to the best university. And if it doesn't come from your heart, then you'll either not attract it in your life or you will have it and you won't be happy about it. So number one is to identify what your heart wants, even if it's something impossible, because I think impossible, as Audrey Hepburn said, that it's I am possible.
Yeah, I love that.
And then after it's being absolutely delusional about that. So you have to really believe that it's gonna happen no matter what. But in this case, I would also say it's not only that, okay, I want a Ferrari and I think about a Ferrari every day and I think I'll have this Ferrari. It's not how it works. When you think about something that you want to manifest, you need to feel that you already have it. So it's not what I'm going to have, but how I'm feeling when I have it. So, for example, when I was manifesting Cambridge, I thought, what specifically will I enjoy the most here? And I thought, I imagined this very scene that I'm wearing a gown and I am mischievously running through the old corridor with my friends.
Yeah.
And just this mischief and magic of the old halls or the beautiful balls with the beautiful dresses. So it's mostly about the feelings, how you feel about it. Or when you travel to Venice, for example, you imagine what feelings it will evoke in yourself. So I would say first step, identify what you really want with your heart, believe that you can achieve it, and then identify what kind of feelings you're going to have when it happens. And I think the trickiest thing here is to believe that it's going to happen no matter what. Because as human beings, we have fears. And these are the demons. These are the demons that come from hell, I would say.
A little voice in your head.
Yes. Yeah. That says, no, it's not going to happen. No, you're being too delusional. But I witnessed so much magic in my life when I did not really understand how it could happen, but then it happened. And I think also the meditation helps a lot. So I think when you're meditating, it's not about...
What do you mean by meditation?
I think that, again, it's different for every person, but I think meditation helps you to dedicate some time to yourself. Because again, with this hectic world, we are always exposed to so many thoughts of other people. And every time when we are around them, we think that our thoughts are our thoughts. However, most of them are just in our heads because of the people who were around us. So I think meditation, of course it can be, for example, when you're in a yoga studio and just breathing in and breathing out. But I really enjoy doing it my way. So I think manifesting is also about happiness and also about having fun. Because when you're having fun, it's more about lightness of being, and then you attract what you already are. So I really like dancing and singing, and I'm horrible in it. I don't think that I'm the best in this, but I start every morning. A friend of mine was doing a research in habits, and she asked me, do you have any, here at Cambridge, and she asked me, do you have any specific habits? I said, I don't know. I always start my day with dancing or singing.
I love that. That's great.
And imagining all of the things that I want in my life. And then I think this is my way.
Feeling it.
Feeling it, yes. Because, if you put... That's why my playlist consists of so many different songs that actually evokes different emotions in your soul. So you can feel the state of it. I remember when I was in Russia, I had another trick for manifestation, for meditation. So again, I want to emphasize that the conditions there were horrible to live in. And it was different to put yourself in this state when you're actually feeling something beautiful and magical. And my trick was, I really liked the swing. So I had the swing close to the house where I used to live. And every time I went out, and I used to swing a lot. And by a lot, I mean like 2 or 3 hours. And this was a minimum. Because I didn't like the conditions.
Yeah, because,
Yes.
That's a meditation in and of itself.
It is, right? So I did not know that I was meditating, but I think that this practice actually brought me to the state of... So I was swinging, I was listening to my favorite music, and I was just imagining me being in Venice, going to Carnival. Okay, this is already a gondola, it's for me. I'm all ready to go to the ball. Yes, and it actually happened. So I think meditation is a portal to your dreams, because you give yourself this, maybe like a movie, you feel that you are already in a movie. You aren't watching it, but you're already there. So you feel this, you actually understand all of the feelings and emotions that you're going to have once you have it. I think this is the key.
I relate so much to that. For me, with my relationship with manifestation is kind of like a scientist. So I'm not sure if it works, but we'll try it and then see what happens, try it and see what happens. And I don't know if I manifest to get into Cambridge, but before I got into Cambridge, I closed my eyes, but I went to sleep, but just before I went to sleep, and I kept imagining opening the email. I got in, I had feelings, and then the next morning the email came, I got into Cambridge.
Yes.
Was that a coincidence? I don't know. But I'm so interested in the process, and I really relate to this. You have to be a bit delusional. Yeah. You have to be a bit like, the world tells you this thing, you can't do that, you can't. No, I dropped out of medicine. It's crazy, right? Everyone tells you you're crazy. And that, to me, sometimes feels a bit lonely, What do you mean by this? It feels like sometimes I'm the only one that believes this.
Yes. Yes.
And everyone else is like, oh, you should have just stayed in medicine. You had a great thing. Why'd you give everything up to as that? And then I'm like, I believe in it. I can't stop the feeling, it's just there.
And I think this is the price that you have to pay for your dreams.
It's the price.
Because, I really love this expression. Let the other people reject your dream as many times as they want to, but never be the one who rejects your dream. And I think this is the key for manifestation. If you are being delusional enough, in the end, you will have everything that you want. But also, if you ended up being in Cambridge, it's not only because you were imagining the email, because you were already ready for this, because you created your point B. So I think also, while you have to be very delusional about this, you also have to be very ready for this. So for example, you want to go to the red carpet tomorrow. And I actually manifested it. I manifested red carpet with Angelina Jolie I think a month ago. And I was specifically manifesting this thing. So one of my reels went viral. It got 10 million views on Instagram.
10 million views.
And then I thought, okay, what am I manifesting? And I also manifested this thing. So I thought, what am I manifesting next? I want a red carpet. And I thought, okay, with the red carpet, how ready do I have to be? Okay, I need to understand how to get ready for a ball in 20 minutes. And I was good at it in Cambridge. So once you're ready for this and the opportunity comes and you are ready to say yes right away, if Cambridge offers you a letter, and of course you meet the requirements of the University of Cambridge. Of course.
From your work.
Yes. So once you did your research, once you did your work, then you're ready for this, and then just staying true to yourself and staying true to your dream. So many people said, like, well, I preferred not to talk a lot with the people who do not believe in this, because I think this is their fears and this is their mindset. But I remember when I was when I was finishing high school, I said, oh my gosh, my dream is to study in the US. And people who heard this, they said, do you know how much money you need to go there? And I said, well, I want to go there for free. Good luck. And I got the full scholarship. So with Cambridge, I didn't tell it to many people. I think only 2 or 3 people knew it, but these were the people who I really trusted and who were really supportive. So I think it's okay to tell other people your big dreams if you have this power to handle, if they say, oh, you're being so foolish about that. But maybe just to protect yourself, share it with the people who will actually celebrate you and who will support you. I think it's kind of the act of self-love as well.
And that's a daily sort of practice for me. Like I have to sort of fight the fears and doubts every day type thing. Do you ever struggle with doubts or fears, or did you ever struggle with this process, or are you constantly like self-love, it's all good?
Oh no. Especially, in Russia, I remember when my grandmother passed away, I felt very weird. I think that, well, I'm a very positive person in general, but at that moment I realized that no one left in the whole family. So I literally do not have any close relatives. And that was really tough. And I jumped right into work. I started teaching, and I ended up being really good at it, teaching languages. And before this, I felt, oh my gosh, there are so many fears in my head. Maybe I will not be able to do X, Y, and Z. And the thing that helped me is being really delusional about my dreams as well.
Exactly.
Yes, but I think another thing that also comes into play is your intuition. So I believe that intuition is a compass. So your heart is a compass, because your heart always knows what's better for you. As you said, that people said, no, don't do this, don't drop out. But you know better, because it's your life, right? Some people like avocados, some people like peaches. How can you eat peaches if you like avocado, right? So this is your heart telling you what you really want.
Exactly, yeah.
And I think it's tough. Sometimes, I think the bigger your dreams are, the more fears you're gonna end up facing. But then now, I think the thing that helps me the most is looking back and seeing that my intuition brought me to Cambridge, brought me to Venice, brought me to the US.
So when you talk about all of this manifestation and commitment and sort of being in line with the universe, there's this quote that comes in my head. It's by Terence McKenna. It says, nature loves courage. You make the commitment, and nature will respond to that commitment by removing impossible obstacles. Dream the impossible dream, and the world will not grind you under. It will lift you up. This is the trick. This is what all these teachers and philosophers who really counted, who really touched the alchemical gold, this is what they understood. This is the shamanic dance in the waterfall. This is how magic is done, by hurling yourself into the abyss and discovering it's a featherbed.
Yes, being courageous.
What a beautiful quote. I think about that all the time. And it's a choice, It's a choice that you have to make every day. What's next? What's your next be? What's your next dream that you try to get to?
I really enjoy the process of creation. Well, both my life and art in life. So now I'm really focused on social media and visual arts, digital visual arts.
What's digital visual art? What does that mean?
I would say all of the creation of reels, short movies, big movies, all of the things that are connected to the acting in general and movies. I really enjoy writing the scripts. I enjoy...
That's what I was going to ask you about, actually.
Because, for example, with one of the videos, so we mentioned it before that I shot 31 colleges tours here, and most of them, 31 of them actually, were the actual tours. However, one of them was a mini movie. I thought, the people who I was shooting the video with were really responsive. So I thought, if you love improvising and if you really enjoy what we are doing, can I shoot a movie? And they said yes. So I wrote a script and we shot a detective story about Magdalen College.
Wow.
Yes. So there is a story.
So there's an actual story behind this.
An actual story. We had the roles. I wrote the script. We shot everything and I really enjoyed directing it. So I think right now I want to dedicate my whole life for creation and, contributing to the world by sharing all of this art to create something both fun and also meaningful. Because I think also the thing that we are doing right now, it's also part of it because we are sharing something, we're inspiring people. And I think also the movies in general are the best things to inspire other people. For example, when I was a child, I used to watch so many cartoons, and I think this is a tremendous amount of cartoons.
Yeah.
I was watching
cartoons.
I really like Princess Susie. This is a story. This is a story about a real princess, Elizabeth of Bavaria. And why I really wanted to go to Venice at the age of 15 is that because in one of the episodes, because she used to travel the world and she went to Venice.
There you go.
So it really had an impact on me. And I think now, I traveled the whole world as she did. I went to Venice. I chose Venice specifically because of this. So I think cartoons and movies, they do have a really good contribution.
100%,
Yes, so I think now I'm focused on both visual forms of art and education because I continue teaching languages, but I think mostly the social media, the content creation, movies, the script writing, all of the creative forms of art.
So interesting. It's very similar to what we're doing, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because what art is always how we've learned through story, right? You see this person, he eats a mushroom, he dies. Don't eat that mushroom. That's a story, and these stories are how we've adapted, overcome nature, and got to where we are. These fairies, you talk about these cartoons like Little Red Riding Hood. These are sort of subliminal messages to help us grow up and shape society. So I'm really interested in the power of story, and when you said you love script writing, that's why I got interested. What is the stories in your head that you want to tell when you're writing these scripts? For example, the mini movie. What are you trying to say? I
always like to emphasize the fun parts of it. So of course there is the big story if we're talking about the Magdalen College video, it was...
When's that coming out, by the way?
Next year. It's coming out weekly, and we were thinking that it's going to be the finale of all 31 colleges.
That'd be great. That'd be great, yeah.
But then again, this movie was a total... even though I wrote a script, we improvised a lot. And I think this is the beauty of life. The improv, the jazz.
So this was an improv movie?
Yes. It was not... The whole thing was not improv. I wrote the script, and I also asked the actors to improvise in the scenes that I had in my head. So it was a mix of this, like the written thing and the improv in the lines. But I think when I was writing the story, there is one big thing that I want to share, and then also some beautiful aspects of Cambridge that I want, because you always have to think about your target audience. In this movie, I wanted to showcase Magdalen College and the mischief of Cambridge students.
Why did you pick Magdalen College? Why did you pick that to do it?
Only because my people from there, my friends, they were really good in this. Yes, they kept saying yes to me. I was like, okay, I have this crazy idea. Please let me know if I'm crossing the boundaries. And they're like, it's okay, we'll do it. I was like, okay. And then I have even crazier idea. Maybe you will say no, and they're like, yeah, let's do it, Violetta. We are okay with everything. So yes, just having people who keep saying yes to life and to acting.
What is the story about? What you said is a detective story?
It is a detective story. So basically, Magdalen College is very famous for its candlelit dinners. I will give some context.
Are those the formals?
Yes.
Yeah, formals.
So just for the context, Magdalen College is one of the colleges of one of 31 colleges at the University of Cambridge, and it's like a castle where students live but don't study. And every college is different from another one, like a Hogwarts house.
Yeah.
So their peculiarity is that they do have the candles there. So the dinners are always candlelit. They do not use the chandelier. And I thought, oh my gosh, there is a mystery of Magdalen College. The candles went missing. Who stole the candles? We risk to cancel the formal dinner. And then there is a Violetta Holmes who is going to understand what's gonna happen.
I love that.
We do have an evil character there. We do have a good character.
I'm so excited to see this.
It was a lot of fun doing this. Yes.
Do you have any projects going forward? More movies that you think of making?
I really want to do it. Now on my YouTube channel, I do have 3 key things, the 3 key playlists that I'm focused on right now. So it was 31 colleges of the University of Cambridge, the biggest focus.
That's so much work. I don't know how you managed to do that, because that's a lot.
Now I realize that it was quite a lot.
Yeah.
Because
31 colleges.
And I did it in 6 months, which I think is quite good timing, because I think we were really good and quick in this.
Yeah.
I think the key thing is just to start. Like with the first video, I thought, I was really hesitant. Every time when you post something, well, not every time, the first time that you post something, it's scary. Yeah. Later on, it's like, so I think it's, the motto of Nike, just do it. Just do it. But I like another one, just start it. So with the first video, I was like, okay, no matter how perfect it is, because I knew that it was not perfect, but it was really fun. Yeah. And again, we actually shot the first video was with the same people from Magdalen, but they were in different colleges before. Yeah. So it also helped being around people who are really enjoying the process. So I just started it, and I think after this, discipline is also the key.
That's so important, because the whole creative process right now is very difficult. You have to make the reels, you got Instagram, TikTok, maybe Facebook, and then got YouTube. It's a lot of work.
It's a full-time job. Yes.
It's basically a full-time job, yeah. How are you? Do you have people that help you with this, or how are you managing this?
Well, not really, actually. So I think that some people reach out to me to be interviewed, for example, because one of the playlists is dedicated for interviews. But most of the time, I think it's again manifestation, maybe, because I think I'm ready and I really want to do it. Yeah. Also, when you pick something that your heart wants, I think you can devote the whole time for it.
100%.
I remember some of the Nobel Prize winners, they said, we were just playing with the particles when we won this. So I think it gives you a lot of enjoyment, and just having this vision that you're actually going to your point B, and then universe rewards you. Yeah. Yes, I have a wonderful friend of mine who helps me to shoot the videos when she is available. So she holds the camera, she accepts all of the direction that I tell her. So this is also very supportive. But I think also now I really enjoy the process of creating something and just improvising with the things.
Yeah. I much prefer that, to be honest. We don't do that as much as I'd like, because there's always an element of fear.
Yes.
And maybe the improv won't go right, maybe something will go wrong. But when we do it, it's just like, it's play, and I think that playful energy just aligns things, Yes. Like, I just think it's good. I love it.
And I really liked one quote that I came across, is that now people think that if the video doesn't get lots of views, maybe like 1,000 views or like 1,000 likes, and in comparison to bigger audience, it's not that much. But then imagine that in the real world,
1,000 people.
Yes. And I remember when I got 10 million views. It's like
that's crazy. It is crazy to think about. Yeah, people get 1,000, 2,000, and they're like depressed. Like,
right?
God, 2,000 people watching. That's crazy. That's really good.
I think also another thing here is that you have to be grateful. The gratitude, the power of gratitude, because I think it really comes along with manifestation. Because when you feel, I've heard that the highest vibration in life is the vibration of the frequency of gratitude. So when you feel, yes, when you feel grateful, the energy is so high, the level of energy is so high, so you can manifest everything. So when you're grateful for what you're doing and for everything, even when, of course, for example, right now, there are different target audiences. So you need to understand what to cater for each of them. But then I think we never have to lose this improv thing. So maybe if we just want to create something as creators, we just need to go with the flow and just post it.
For me personally, I don't make anything for anyone else. I don't even think about the audience. I'm just like, is this fun?
Exactly.
Like, am I doing something cool? And then I just think that it will align up.
Yes.
Because like, I think a lot of people like try and make things for other people, and it's just like, you're the one making it. Like, why are you making it for other people? Do it for you, and I enjoy that process. And with the great gratitude thing, with having that, I think it is a very high frequency state to be in. But especially you, like, you had quite a difficult time growing up. How do you be grateful when everything around you is not giving you those signs?
This is actually a really good question. I tried to ask myself this so many times. I think, when my mother died, I was 5, and then my brother and father passed away like soon after. So I used to live with my grandmother only, and she, like, even though we had lots of difficult situations, and I was always exposed to the psychological abuse of my uncle, who was like horrible. He was taking all of her money. He was always saying, like these toxic people who keep telling you that you aren't enough, you aren't this and this and this. And I thought, what helped me? Because when I was manifesting Venice, I felt this state of gratitude in my heart. And I thought, these small moments when you're being very present, for example, my grandmother, she is Tatar, so I'm half Tatar. And Tatar people are like Italians from the south. So this is...
What is Tatar?
Tatar is... So this is a Republic of Tatarstan in Russia. It's not Kyrgyzstan, it's not Kazakhstan, it's not a separate country, it's a region inside Russia. And so the language derives from Arabic, and it's Turkic.
So it's a different dialect.
Yes.
Is it a dialect or a different language?
Different language, totally different language. Yeah. And my grandmother, she used to listen to the radio, and they had Tatar songs playing. So she was always like, can you imagine this horrible house? Literally, it's horrible. I hated it. Like, it needed renovation ASAP. And she was dancing and she was listening to this. And I had so much joy looking at her, and I joined her doing this. So I think maybe this is where my dancing thing and singing in front of the mirror in the morning comes from. So I think these moments when you feel grateful for just being close to your grandmother, just enjoying Tatar song because they're really kind and just really fun, brings you... So when you saw lots of darkness, you kind of try to catch any dose of light. And I think this is it. I was just trying to catch these small moments and enjoy them to the fullest, so that it kind of covers the whole abyss in the heart. And then this energy multiplies once you're being grateful for dancing, for quality time with your grandmother, for Venice, that it exists, and once you're gonna end up there, maybe this is the key, because being passionate about your dream.
It's difficult as well. It's not easy. I used to live in like literally a terrible. I'm not trying to compare, but it was a terrible house. Like, construction site, everything's open. The bathroom was outside. And it was terrible. It was It was not even a house. But in that time, I was just constantly negative. Yeah. I was in such a low energy because I was like, why are we here? Like, what's going on? The roof's open. Like, what is? And we were there for like 3 years. When I started saying, no, I don't accept this reality, and I changed things. We ended up in a nice house. All of this stuff changed, but it was so hard to make that switch. It took me years to be able to be grateful for something when everything around me is telling me you suck. Like, this is not good, right? It's a difficult process. I don't know how someone can develop that. How could you help someone who's in that process find the light? It feels like there's darkness everywhere.
Opening the heart, maybe. This is the thought that came to my mind is that when you have nothing to lose, at least listening to your heart, being a kind person.
It only go up
Yes.
after you hit the bottom.
Also, now I'm thinking like, even once I passed this horrible conditions and I started enjoying my life, ended up going to palazzos in Venice, having a wonderful job, teaching to sales. So manifested everything, like also here in Cambridge, attending all of the balls. I also have negative thoughts sometimes. And there are these periods of time when, well, it also comes from the interactions with other people, right? So the more you talk to people who are focused on X, Y, and Z comes to your mind, enters it. Yeah. And it's also difficult because, for example, here, everything seems perfect sometimes, and then you end up having negative thoughts. And then I think, wait, if I were 15 again, I would be so grateful for what I'm having right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then when you want this quantum leap to happen again, you need to again focus.
I love that word, quantum leap.
Mm-hmm.
A complete transformation from where you are. What's how have you found Cambridge? Like, you manifested coming to Cambridge.
Yes.
Did it meet your expectations? For me,
yeah,
didn't quite meet what I thought it was going to be. It didn't match where I needed to be. For you, how did you find coming to Cambridge?
Well, controversially, I would say. So I really enjoyed my time here. But then again, when I was going to Cambridge, I specifically thought that I would enjoy a lot the social life here. And, well, the UK did not really meet my expectations. The university in general. Well, I think Cambridge is mostly about what you're looking for there. I really wanted to go to every single college.
Got that one done.
Yes.
Colleges I've never even heard of.
I was so intrigued. I'm a very curious person with learning, for example. So I enjoy all of these mischievous things like going to different colleges and knowing all of the secrets. It sounds so fun because here you have so many stories to hear. And my goals here were to go visit every single college, and then I ended up having the whole project, even though I did not complete the whole formal challenge because I think it's not about the numbers.
What's the formal challenge? Like going to all the formals?
Yes, all the formal dinners.
There's so much, for the endless port.
Mm-hmm, yes.
So in Cambridge, I don't know, I'm not explaining it, this port, it's type of like sweet wine, I guess. And we have formals, we have dinners, and they just pass it around on and on and on. Everyone gets wasted.
Yes.
It's so fun, but it's a bit crazy.
I don't drink at all.
I quit drinking. I don't drink anymore.
So the port thing was like, okay, it's a fun tradition. I thought maybe I can make a reel out of it. But I enjoyed going to so many colleges, like many times, not to all 31 colleges. So for example, there is one specific college, King's College, which is incredibly difficult to go to. Because usually I met so many people who went to all 30 colleges, but King's College.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So the King's College is the one that's kind of
very hard to get.
Exclusive.
Like super, because they do have this ballot system. So people who study there, they do have to ballot, and the formals are held very, very rarely. And I thought that one day, it was during the second term of Cambridge, I thought, oh my gosh, I visited lots of colleges, and I think that I can't get to all of them, but King's College. And I was really, really devastated at one point, and I asked everyone, do you know anyone at King's? Can you get me the tickets? And I was sure that I would get 30 colleges, but not King's College. The following day, I remember this. Oh my gosh, this is about how to be prepared for everything. So even though I did not believe that I would get there, but then in the end, I ended up going there 10 times. But the first time was very special. So I kept sending the same message to the formal challenge group on Facebook, okay, anyone, King's College tickets. But it's not gonna happen because usually, as I understood, King's students do not go to this group. But I thought, okay, maybe I should stop doing this. But no, okay, I will continue. At least I will do something for my dream. And I remember the following day, I went to the lectures, and my lectures were like the whole day until 6. And I thought, okay, I don't have any plans to go to anywhere in the evening. And I was wearing my yoga suit. It was the first time that I wore it to lectures. I remember it's 6:15 and I get the message, hey, I saw your message on Facebook. Do you still want the ticket for formal dinner, which starts at 7, which was like super last minute. It's like 6:15.
You got 45 minutes to get changed.
And I am at home. So my department was close to Homerton College, which is very far. So I needed to go back to Wilson. Then I needed to go to King's.
Wilson to King's. Oh,
yes, yeah, and I needed to.
And
and also it's King's. I wanted to look beautiful there. So I managed to do everything. I was there at 7. This was the best. Even though I went there alone, I met so many people there. Yeah. And I think this was one of the best formals so far. I enjoyed every moment of it.
I was going to ask you what the best formal you had was. You think it's King's?
Maybe, and also the Northern Lights formal. Because here, it also, I really wanted to see the Northern Lights. And I thought it doesn't matter. Because I had the list of travelings. And I thought, okay, I want to see the Northern Lights. Maybe I will go to Scandinavia, but then it's very difficult to plan because maybe you can go there, but then you can't see the Northern Lights.
Might not be. Yes.
And I remember one day we went to Queen's College, and this is amazing. I think that my dress summoned the Northern Lights because basically we were wearing really fancy dresses, and I was there with wonderful people. And after a beautiful formal, we saw the Northern Lights.
Wow.
And it was fantastic here in Cambridge.
I heard about it. Some people were messaging me like, you can see the Northern Lights from here. I was like, oh.
It was amazing.
Really?
Yes, it was fantastic. But also, after this beautiful night, to see this, it was literally witnessing a miracle happening.
So, what I find interesting actually is you go to all these formals, but you don't drink.
Yeah.
What's behind that? Did you never drink or?
I never drank, and well, maybe I don't really know. Maybe it comes from my Tatar upbringing because when I was living with my grandmother, she never drank, and literally in her whole life, maybe it comes from the traditional values of the Tatar people. But then at one point, I realized. So I tried just like sipping it, and I thought, well, I do not find any difference between me having fun with this flow or adding this. So I thought, I don't really know if it's Tatar upbringing or the fact that I didn't really notice any differences, because I think when you're with the right people, when you're really connected.
Like anyway, yeah, yes. I feel like that, yeah, 100%.
I think alcohol brings you to this state where the one that you experience during the meditation as well, because I remember so many times people were telling me, oh my gosh, you're so drunk. And I'm like, I didn't even drink, but I was enjoying the evening so much.
Yeah.
So I think,
and then you remember the evening as well, and it's a better experience, I feel. But obviously anyone can do whatever they want. But. So manifestation, you tell me you've gone to a portrait gallery in Venice.
Yeah, my picture.
First of all, what is a portrait gallery?
Okay, so it's not a portrait gallery. Okay. It's just a gallery in Venice.
It's a gallery.
Yeah. Okay, so I remember I really wanted to start oil painting, and then I thought, okay, now I don't have time for this. I need to focus on my work, all of these things. I will maybe do it like later, 10 years from now. And then COVID happened, and I had some time for myself. So I started, my student actually, she was an artist, and she said, let's try painting. And I thought, okay, let's do it. So it was during COVID, and my first ever. So
this was a language student. You teach.
Yeah, because I teach languages to different people.
Which language?
Italian, English, Spanish, all Roman languages.
She speaks a bunch of languages as well. You guys talking about different languages.
We can. So I remember my first ever painting was me in Venice. So like oil painting, because I thought I really want to go to Venice, and I had tickets to Venice as well, but then they got cancelled because of COVID. Yes. And I remember I was signing them because my artist friend, she said, you have to sign this painting, and you have to also write something in the back. And I thought, okay, I will sign 2020, and I feel that it's gonna be a good year, which is not. Like usually the people got this anxiety, but I thought, no, I think that maybe it's gonna happen. And you know what happened? I went to Venice. I actually flew there, even though the borders were closed.
How did you get to Venice?
With a private jet. So one of my students was going there, and it is a female student who is really like, she had lots of international things to do, and so we went to Venice. Well, I went to Venice. This was my target, and I ended up going to one of the, like, I rented a palazzo there, so I really wanted to stay in Venice for a year or for a month. And I remember I recreated this painting, like me being there. But the thing here is
painted it again.
No, I had a picture, a photo of me being exactly at the same place that I painted. So I recreated the thing.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
But the most, I think, interesting part of the story is that, so when I was 12, I wrote a story about like me being in Venice when I'm like in my 20s, enjoying my life, going to the most ancient place there. I believe that it is the ancient cafe there, which is called Florian. So it is a very expensive place, and the coffee there was like 10 euros.
Wow.
And at one point when I was I had this narration in my head that, okay, like the protagonist of my story goes there, enjoys her coffee, and then comes back to her palazzo overlooking the canal. And it actually happened. But the most interesting thing is that I really wanted some good pictures in Venice. And I had some friends in different countries who could do this. However, the borders were closed. So they said, well, maybe you'll just meet a photographer there, just on the street. And I thought, yeah, of course. They will just come out and say, you inspired me so much. Yeah. Usually the words are really powerful. So I remember one day so I was waking up very early at 5. I was teaching a lot, and then maybe at 1 or 2 I was done, and then I was exploring the city. So I thought, okay, this is the time. I need to go and dream. Maybe I'll go to the Florian, because Venice is, well, it's believed that Venice is not gonna last long. So I need to enjoy.
It's not gonna last long.
Yeah, because it's gonna sink. Like most people believe in this. Yes. So I thought, well, I need to live the moment and go to the Florian.
First time, yeah.
And I remember I went there and I was enjoying every single moment there, because I was the only one in the restaurant, and the whole orchestra, they understood that I was Russian, so they were playing Russian melodies for me. And I was enjoying my coffee with all of the other things that I ordered. And it was so, like, the moment was really truly magical. St. Mark's Square was empty and I was alone there enjoying my life. And
doing your 10 euro coffee.
Yes. And you know what happened? So I was there and I realized that someone was taking pictures of me, a photographer. And I say, oh my gosh. So I was posing, and then I say, please, can you send me the pictures? He says, no, I wasn't taking pictures. It's for privacy reasons. And I said, no, I'm totally okay with this. I really want to memorize this moment. Could you please send them to me? And he said, you really inspired me. I was after Tom Cruise, because Tom Cruise was shooting Mission Impossible. So he said, I just went out to meet Tom Cruise and maybe to take some pictures of him, but then I bumped into you. And then this picture that was taken there ended up being in a gallery in Venice, because the photographer was kind of famous in Venice, like semi-famous, I would say. And he had the exhibition in La Biennale, I believe. So my picture, I had, like, my painting ended up being there. And then it also ended up being in a book that was sold in the US. So the whole
There's something going on. There's something
right?
going on, yeah.
After this, it also helped me to manifest Cambridge, I think. You know, once you have manifested something big like this, then you tend to go back and say, okay, if this happened,
it worked. Yeah.
Yes, if Venice is real, then this can be as well.
Awesome. That's so cool, man. Okay, what's the next movie then? You said you want to do more movies. What's the next one going to be? We got the Modeling College.
Modeling College.
Yes.
We
got the Modeling College. What's the next one?
Well, we're done with the college.
Do we have a sequel? Is it going to be like a detective? What's it called? What's the name of it?
The Mystery of Modeling
The
College.
Mystery of Modeling. Do we have a Mystery of Modeling too?
We'll think about it. Now, I thought that there were so many things that I was focused on, and on social media, like some reels that I wanted to shoot, and also, like, you know, I had really good projects coming out this year. Like, I went to Oxford to give my talk there.
How did you find Oxford?
I like Oxford, but I'm staying true to Cambridge. So every time when I'm there, I make some jokes about it. But Yes, there were so many things right now, so there is no plan for the next movie right
But
now.
it will come.
But it will come because I really wanted to, kind of put together all of the things that happened, because also the talk at Oxford, I hosted 2 Q&As here at Cambridge before with big public figures. And then I thought, okay, maybe now I'm ready to talk to the audience, like maybe 100 people. And then 2 days after this, Oxford messaged me. And then they invited me to give a talk on scholarships and how to win scholarships. And the audience was so engaged, they weren't even using their phones. I think for me, it is tough. So I think I really wanted, this year was really rich with projects. So I was focused on lots of them. And next year, I think that, yes, I will dedicate it a lot to creation of movies. However, now there is no one specific in mind.
I'm so excited to see what you'll come up with next.
Me too.
But thank you so much for your time. I'm going to put everything about her on the description, and
Yes.
I'd love to see the photos as well. I'll put that up as well.
Yes.
Let's stay in touch, and we'll
Yes,
keep it. Maybe we'll do another episode in future, see what you got. I'm really looking forward to that. The
too.
mystery
Of Magdalen College. Thank you very much for the invitation. And follow me on Instagram and YouTube. It's Violetta's TV.
Put it somewhere. All right, see you guys later. Peace.